My name is Penny, and I'm 56 years old. I'm currently living with my husband, Panio, and our daughter, Paige. We've never been very wealthy. That's because Panio's business went under when Paige was still young, and we had to declare for bankruptcy. And because the economy wasn't doing well at the time, he wasn't able to find a well-paying job, and that's why he had to settle for a job as a construction worker, and I've been trying to support my family by working part-time as well. But that didn't really bother me though, because our family was still close to each other. We all loved and respected each other, and I think that's what matters most. All right, Paige, honey, dinner's ready. I know this is not nearly enough food for you, Paige. I'm sorry. If only we had a little more money. What are you talking about? This is more than enough for me, Mom. And thank you so much for putting food on the table for us every day. I'm so grateful for all that you do for me. And don't worry, I'm gonna do my best to become successful, and I'll lift you guys out of poverty in no time. If everything goes according to plan, I'll be able to buy a building for you guys before I turn 30. A building? Wow, that's super impressive. I'll be looking forward to it then. Oh, wait, there's a hole in your apron. Do you see it? It's right there. Oh, you're right. That's embarrassing. I'll patch it up for you later, so just leave it on the chair for me. I didn't care that we were poor. The only thing that mattered to me was that Paige was happy and healthy, and it seemed like she was. But our family wasn't without its problems, however. My firstborn son, Paul, has always been a bit of a troublemaker for us.
Hey, I'm home!
Paul came home when we were eating dinner. Hey Paul, it's 9 p.m. already. What were you doing out so late? Wait a minute. Were you at Grandma's place again? You were, weren't you? My mother-in-law absolutely adores Paul. He's definitely her favorite grandchild. She's a very traditional woman, and that's why she's obsessed with our firstborn son. She doesn't really care about Paige, though, and it's well established that she doesn't like me very much. She used to bully me a lot when my husband and I were still young, and that's why we basically never see each other anymore. But because my mother-in-law adores Paul, she invites him over for dinner almost every day. And unlike our family, my mother-in-law is rich and has a lot of money. And so that's part of why Paul has been visiting his grandmother so often. She always gives him money, and that's obviously not very good for his character development. That's why I've told her to stop giving him handouts so often over and over again, but she refuses to listen to me. I've also told Paul to stop visiting his grandmother every day, but he won't listen to me either. And because my mother-in-law has been spoiling my son for years, he's become a bit of an... how should I put this? Well, he's a selfish asshole.
Shut up, alright? Leave me alone! And if you don't want me to visit my grandma, then you should serve something that's actually edible for dinner. Looks like you guys are having miso soup and rice for dinner. That's pathetic! Hey Paige, guess what? I had expensive sushi with my grandma today. I bet you're super jealous of me.
I prefer to eat dinner with my parents, so I'm not jealous at all. I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner.
You're just trying to act tough, aren't you? But it's kind of sad that grandma doesn't like you. That must suck for you.
My mother-in-law paid for Paul's college tuition, and after he graduated from his university, he moved out of our house and got his own apartment. That's why we don't really get to see him very often anymore. And a few years later, my mother-in-law passed away, and as stated in her will, most of her money was passed on to my son, Paul. Apparently, he used it all in a few months, though. And a few months after the funeral, Paul came home for the first time in what felt like years. I thought he was alone at first, but that's when I saw a young woman standing next to him. Hey, welcome home, Paul. Who is this next to you?
This is Emery, and she's my girlfriend. Her father's the CEO of Panikori Trading. You've heard of them before, right?
Panikori Trading is one of the largest companies in the country. Wait a minute. That reminds me. I think my mother-in-law was close to the CEO of Panikori Trading when she was still alive. Well, that's great. It's very nice to meet you, ma'am. I greeted Emily gleefully, but she completely ignored me. And after taking a good look at her surroundings, she said this. What the hell is this place? It's even worse than I thought it would be. It's so small and dirty. It's the size of my doghouse. Wait, What? What did she just say? How can she talk like this about our home?
Right? But anyway, I'm here to pick up all of the stuff that I left here when I first moved out. Emery and I are getting a new house, and I don't want to have to come back to this tiny, smelly apartment, so I'm just gonna grab all of my stuff, if that's okay with you.
All right, let's get this over with. And that's when Emily walked into our house without taking off her shoes. You have to take off your shoes, I immediately yelled out, but this was her reaction. Oh, sorry, I forgot this wasn't my doghouse. I'll take them off right away. Sorry! Paul and Emily were laughing in my face and I was starting to lose my cool. I was about to start yelling at them when this happened. I'm home! Wait, what the hell? Paul, I didn't know you were back. It's been a while. How have you been? Paige returned from school. She looked very tired. After graduating from high school, Panico had been studying at a vocational school to fulfill one of her lifelong dreams. She also has a part-time job and has been doing a lot to support our family and keep us afloat. Man, she's the best daughter I could have ever asked for. But after Emily took one look at her, she said this. Wait, is this really your daughter? You're kidding me, right? She's so ugly. I can't believe you guys are related. You look nothing like each other. You should really get a nose job or something. I mean, it's kind of difficult to look at you. Wait, don't come near me! What the hell? Who the hell are you anyways? What is your problem? Huh? You can't talk to me like that, you poor bastard! Take that back! No, you take back what you said about me first, you bitch! I don't know who you are, but I'm not gonna let you walk all over me like this. This bitch! Hey, Paul, I don't want to be in the same house as this ugly creature anymore. Could you just grab your stuff so we can go? Being in here is like torture. Shut the hell up! You can't insult us in our home like that! Who do you think you are? You are not welcome here anymore, you bastard! Go home! And while Emily and Paige were jawing away at each other, Paul went up to his room to grab all of his stuff. And before she left, Emily said this to us. You guys are the worst! I hope I never have to see you guys again! And so Emily and Paul stomped out of the house angrily. And a few years later... I haven't seen Paul in a few years. I hope he's doing well. Huh? I'm getting a call. Wait, it's Paul! Paul called me out of the blue to inform me that he was getting married with Emily. Apparently he wants to reintroduce her to us so we can be on good terms with each other. I don't really think that's possible at this point, but whatever. But those two are finally getting married, huh? I don't know how long their marriage will last, but I just hope they'll leave us alone. When I informed Paige about this, she told me that she preferred not to go because she didn't want to see Emily and her brother anymore. And so my husband and I headed to the restaurant where we were supposed to meet up with Emily and Paul. When we got there, they were already waiting for us. And as soon as we sat down, Emily said this to us. I don't want to waste my time talking to you guys, so I'm going to cut to the chase. I was very close with Paul's grandmother, so we're planning on inviting all her close relatives and friends. But please know that the list does not include you guys. You're not invited to our wedding. What? We're having our wedding at an expensive hotel, and you guys clearly don't belong in that kind of environment. And I don't need my relatives to find out that I'm marrying into a family that has the likes of you in it, so we'd appreciate it if you didn't come. Let me rephrase that. Please don't come to our wedding. If you do, you're probably going to ruin everything for us. A wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event, and I don't need you guys to ruin it. Wait, hold on, but Paul is our son, and we have to attend his wedding. We have the responsibility. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Paul isn't going to be your son anymore. He's going to cut ties with you guys. What? What the hell is this girl talking about? I thought Paul would object to what she's saying, but he's just sitting there grinning. Wait a minute, is he actually cutting ties with us? You have to be kidding me. He's supposed to be our son, though. We're a family, and families don't do this to each other. I've been really worried about how Paul has been doing over the last couple of years, but... So this is what he was up to, huh? We're We're going to be strangers from now on, so you better not reach out to us for anything, alright? Don't try anything funny, or we're gonna call the cops on you. We don't want anything to do with you guys anymore. Oh, and make sure you relay this message to your stupid daughter as well. Okay, I see how it is. Once Emily was done talking, I was able to make up my mind. And so I replied to her by saying this. Sure thing. I'd be glad to do that for you guys. And so my husband and I left the restaurant with huge smiles on our faces before we got the chance to eat anything. I can't wait to tell Paige the good news. Oh, those idiots don't know what they just did to themselves. This is hilarious. And that night, Paul texted us for the very last time, informing us that he was going to be blocking all of our numbers. But a week later, Paul called us again out of nowhere. Well, it really wasn't out of nowhere though, because I knew he was going to reach out to us sooner than later. Hello? Huh? Why is Emily calling me on Paul's phone? Whatever, I'm just gonna tell her the same thing I was gonna tell Paul. Hey Emily, what's up? I thought you didn't want to hear from us anymore. What's going on? Shut up! What the hell is going on? My father's refusing to pay for our wedding now, and he says that it's your fault! He told me to ask for your sister's forgiveness, and nothing makes sense right now! Paige was right next to me, and she had a huge grin on her face. She then told me to hand my phone over to her. Emily was yelling super loudly, so she probably heard her voice leaking from the phone. And when I handed her the phone, she turned the call on to speaker mode and said this. Good afternoon, Emily. Huh? Oh, it's you again. You need to explain what's going on to me. My father's furious with me and I don't know why. He told me to apologize to you, but Paul and I had to cancel our wedding because of you, you know? And we had to pay for a huge cancellation fee now, and it's put a huge dent into our finances. But you told us you didn't want anything to do with you guys. What? But that's not what I'm talking about right now. Wait, what does that have to do with anything? Your father is the CEO of Monirobo Trading, right? I'm actually a freelance designer who's working on a project for your father's company, and... Wait, what? You're a designer? You didn't know? Her designs are super popular right now. What? That's ridiculous! There's no way that's true! You guys are poor and live in a doghouse, and there's no way that... What are you talking about? Sure, we might have been very poor 5 years ago, but that's not the case anymore. Paige makes more money than you or your father now. Wait, what? I knew that Monirobo Trading was run by your father, but I decided not to bring my personal feelings into my work and accepted them as my clients. But you told me that you didn't want anything to do with us, so I decided to cut ties with your father's company as well. That's what you wanted me to do, right? I've already explained everything to your father, and he and I are on the same page. You've gotta be kidding me! Emily let out a weak whimper, and Paige continued. The people at your company were super excited when they heard I was going to be working with them on this new project. But they're going to be super disappointed to learn that the deal has fallen through. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel bad for your father, but I did what was necessary. But that's when the man entered the conversation.
Paige, can you hear me? It's me, Paul. We're sorry about what we said, all right? Could you please forgive us? Emily and I are in a lot of trouble right now, and Emiry's father isn't supporting us financially anymore. And we can't afford to put food on the table right now. You have to talk to him and tell him that you've changed your mind.
Why don't you just get a job then?
Well, that's not...
You're kidding me, right? You still don't have a job? Money doesn't just grow on trees, you know?
Wait a minute. But Paige is rich now, right? So that means she can afford to share some of it with us, right?
This is pointless. We're done talking to you guys. Goodbye. Hold on! That's when Emily came back into the conversation and said this. Well, if this is how you're gonna treat us, then two can play at that game, you know? Huh? What do you mean by that? If you're not gonna give us any money, then you're never gonna get to see your grandchildren. We might have babies soon, and you're never gonna be able to... Oh, well, that doesn't really bother me. And so I switched the call to FaceTime and showed her my surroundings. Wait, what the hell? What is this house? And why is there a cradle there? Paige bought a new house for us. And she's already married as well. She has an amazing husband and a beautiful daughter. No way! That's when she finally came to the realization that she was screwed. There was nothing she could do to save herself, so she just sat there and cried. I could hear her sobbing over the phone. But anyway, we're not going to reach out to you guys anymore. That's what you guys wanted, right? So this is probably going to be the last time we ever talk to each other. It was nice knowing you. Goodbye. Wait, hold on! And so I hung up from the call and immediately blocked Paul's number. And after the call ended, Paul and Emily got into a huge fight. They started blaming each other over this and ended up getting a divorce. Emily tried apologizing to her father, but he was having none of it. She had no one to turn to, so she had no choice but to get a job. She started working as a janitor, but because she's never had a job before, she ended up making numerous mistakes on her first day and got fired on the spot. And because she had no way of making money, she knew that she had to use the money that she had wisely. However, because she's been living the life of luxury for most of her life, that was impossible for her to do. And now she's borrowing money from the Yakuza to make ends meet. She wasn't able to pay back her debt though, and now she's being forced to work at a factory every day. My son ended up suffering a similar fate, and apparently he's working on a fishing boat somewhere far from here. And from what I heard, he's having a hard time surviving out there by himself. He's extremely depressed now, and it's probably a matter of time before he dies. He once texted Paige and asked her to help him, but Paige immediately blocked his number after telling him to never reach out to her again. He's my son, and I'm worried about him, but he brought this upon himself. Me, on the other hand, I'm doing very well right now thanks to Paige. She bought an entire apartment building for me, and we're all living there happily. I'm so glad to get to be around my granddaughter every day. It's amazing to see her grow up. Oh, thanks, Mom! You changed Panami's diapers for me, right? Oh, don't mention it. You're busy with work, so I'm just doing what I can to help. But I can't believe you're an actual designer now. Your dream actually came true. Well, yes, but there's still other things I want to do. I'm not done yet. Well, I'm sure you'll be able to do anything if you just put your mind to it. You're a special kid, Paige, and I'm proud of you. Thanks, Mom. That really means a lot. But I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys, so thank you. But anyway, we should get ready for dinner. I'm done with work for the day, so I can help you cook. Really? All right then. I've got my apron on already, so let's get to work. Wait, you still have that apron with you? That's the apron that I patched up for you like 5 years ago, right? I thought you would have thrown it out by now. But anyway, let's start cooking. Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!